Hello, everybody, and thank you for tuning in to Mixed Texan Politics. Joe Biden is running for re-election, and he put an ad out the other day, which I'm going to play the first 30, 40 seconds or so, and then we'll play the RNC response to that. Let's check this out.
Freedom, personal freedom, is fundamental to who we are as Americans.
There's nothing more important, nothing more sacred.
That's been the work of my first term, to fight for our democracy. This shouldn't be a red or blue issue. To protect our rights, to make sure that everyone in this country is treated equally and that everyone is given a fair shot at making it. But you know, around the country, MAGA extremists are lining up to take on those bedrock freedoms, cutting Social Security that you paid for your entire life while cutting taxes for the very wealthy, dictating what health care decisions women can make, banning books, and telling people who they can love, all while making it more difficult for you to be able to vote.
All right. So, he's trying to scare people out of voting Republican. He's trying to scare people, saying, look at this boogeyman. That he had a picture of Trump and DeSantis and Marjorie Taylor Greene calling the MAGA extremists. And he had pictures of January 6th trying to scare people into voting for him. But if you've lived in America the last 2 years and lived in America the 4 years before that, you would see that there is a stark contrast between the two. The tax cuts did not, it was not a tax cut for the wealthy. 80% of Americans got a tax cut. The people at the bottom 10% did better. Their incomes went up. Their way of living went up. Their lifestyle, the black home ownership went up. The economy was booming. 3.5% unemployment, which unemployment is low right now, yes, but the economy was firing on all cylinders at the time after the tax cuts and the deregulations that Trump put in place. And trying to say that you can't, trying to stop you from voting, all this nonsense, it's a lie. Look, Greg Abbott signed a voting law into place, a voter integrity law. And I was able to vote with no problem here in Texas. I'm a minority. People in Georgia had no issue voting out Stacey Abrams, the big fat cow. People in Florida had no issues with voting, and they have strict voter vote by mail laws. This is all a lie. It's to scare the American people out of voting Republican. And banning books, yes, if you're banning books that have sexually explicit words inside of them in a kid's library or student's library or whatever it is, yes, of course we're going to ban those books. And the abortion thing, it's up to the states now. So it's not like Trump was in there trying to ban abortion or anything like that. Hey, Roe v. Wade got turned over to the states. The states can do what they want with it. Now, here's another clip I want to show you before we get to the RNC response. Check this out.
Complacent. That's why I'm running for re-election.
Biden's campaign slogan the second time around?
Let's finish this job. I know we can.
What job has he even started?
You got to start a job before you finish it.
I don't really know what job he started.
I don't think he knows what he's saying half the time.
What would be a good campaign slogan for Joe Biden?
I quit. There you go. That's a good one. I like that.
What would America look like if he does finish the job?
I see World War with China.
Maybe turn the rest of America woke?
Probably going to get our hands in Ukraine.
In his campaign video, Joe Biden shows a stack of books that he says have been banned by, quote,
MAGA extremists. Banning books.
One of those books is called Lawn Boy, and in that book, it describes a scenario of two 10-year-old boys giving each other oral sex. You're calling people extremists who just don't want children to have access to books like that?
What they're actually doing is grooming people.
What do you think America looks like if he finishes the job?
America doesn't look good.
In New York for Newsmax.
You see that? You talk to everyday people on the streets, and they know what's going on. This looks like it was in New York from Newsmax, but everyday Americans know what's going. They know what's going on. They see the high inflation. They see the war with going on in Ukraine. They see we're at odds with China. We're not very strong in the world stage. They see the border is being flooded by illegal aliens. Fentanyl flooding the streets. These are things that are actually happening in Joe Biden's America. And right now we're not finished yet, but another 4 years of this nonsense doesn't look good. So here's the RNC's response to this nonsense ad.
We can now call the 2024 presidential race for Joe Biden.
This morning, an emboldened China invades Taiwan.
Financial markets are in free fall as 500 regional banks have shuttered their doors.
Border agents were overrun by a surge of 80,000 illegals yesterday evening.
Officials closed the city of San Francisco this morning, citing the escalating crime and fentanyl crisis.
Who's in charge here?
It feels like the train is coming off the track.
Whew, that was brutal. Now, these are things that I think could actually happen under Joe Biden. It seems like any day China is they're just waiting to make a move on Taiwan. And like I said, you have the Ukraine war going on with Russia. You have the border being overrun. That is a very likely scenario. You see these caravans, these people flooding the border often at times. If you take a look at the graph when Trump was in office, the border crossings, then you see Biden, it's a huge spike, goes like this. This is not an accident. This is not a coincidence. This is a direct result of weak border policies designed to destroy America. That is an honest opinion by me and shared by. That's the only thing I can think of is why they're doing these things. Why would you allow as many people as you can in as possible? And I don't see any other way around this. You see crime surging across the country in these major cities. You see this woke nonsense. America does not look like it's in a great place. And I see it every day for myself. You go to the grocery store, you go to the gas station. Gas is now $3-something near where I live. And it's up and down. It's $3. It's getting close to $4 at times. And it goes back down to a little over $3. Because we were producing 13 million barrels a day when Trump was in office at the end there. At the peak. And now we've around 12 million, which is not bad, but it's 1 million barrels less a day. We're no longer energy independent. Here's a poll. It's from Breitbart News. 72% say Joe Biden's America is out of control. Nearly 3/4 of U.S. adult residents believe Joe Biden's America is out of control. This was done by CBS YouGov poll. I mean, look, you have people in the streets taking fentanyl. This is out of control. Now, overall, only 30% of Americans said things are going well in America. 70% say are going poorly. Concerning the economy, 63% say the economy is bad. Only 31% say the economy is going well. The polling comes as Biden on Tuesday launched his re-election campaign. The day did not go smoothly. In his first speech after announcing a re-election bid, Biden said the economy was strong and his economic plan is working, while acknowledging inflation has remained a systemic problem in 2023. I know folks are also struggling with inflation. 40-year high inflation cost American households an extra $5,200 last year, or $433 per month, according to Bloomberg. And the proof is in the pudding that Americans are not better off than they were under Trump. They're worse off today, is what I'm trying to say. Wage growth is falling behind inflation. 5% inflation versus 4.8% wage growth. So you get a 4% raise, which is fine. Almost 4.2%, but then you're paying 5% more on daily things on average. So you're falling behind. This has been going on the last 2 years since Biden has been in office. There's some things are out of his control or would have happened anyway, but I think if we had Trump in office still, things would have been a lot different. Now look, going into 2024, you don't have the COVID aspect. You don't have all this mass mail-in ballots and these states illegally changing voting laws to benefit Biden. You also don't have Biden also has a terrible track record to go off of. You can compare and contrast. Trump can say, look what I did and look what this guy's doing. Look at America before and look at America now. That's what Trump has going in his favor going into this 2024 election, bearing that he is a nominee. And anybody can say the same thing. Look at Biden's America. But you also have to have a plan of what you're going to do better than him, how you're the alternative. But Trump already has the record to show for it. The foreign policy record, the border, the wins on the economy, and all kinds of things he's accomplished with what you see with the Abraham Accords, like back to foreign policy, North Korea, meeting with them, getting tough on China. He has a strong record to go off of. But Joe Biden, we don't have the suppression of the Hunter Biden laptop anymore because we know about this now. A lot of the American people know about this. And that would have likely changed the outcome of the last election. You don't have COVID with the mass mail-in ballots, and like I said, the swing states illegally changing their voting laws to benefit Joe Biden, the Mark Zuckerberg dollars coming in, like the suppression of the Hunter Biden laptop. So Joe Biden is not in a prime position to win, but I'm just curious to see what they're going to pull out of the bag to help Joe Biden win. I mean, I don't know. We'll see what happens, but let me know what you think about this. What do you think about Joe Biden running again? Do you think he has a better chance than he did in 2020? This is not 2020. Things are a lot different now. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Take care.